because I put out a bunch of shorts recently and I put out a little bit of a longer form video around going all in. And I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to touch on going all in because I think it's super important. And one of the things that got me to press and go live today and deal with all the fear, the stress, the anxiety, and the overwhelm that comes with, all the energy, all the nerves was that, going all in and chasing who you could possibly be is so much more fulfilling than I can ever express in words. It is bigger than any entrepreneurial, surface, external, monetary, superficial things that we are attracted to as a person and people and as a society. At the same time, if that's you, I think that's cool and beautiful too. But what got me to getting on today was reading a stat. I was watching a video from this one dude, Prince something, I forget his name, forgive me for forgetting his name. Millions and millions of followers, I think 25 million total followers. He has over 6 million on YouTube. Great video about being happy, and he referenced a Harvard review, which I went and looked up. I looked up this Harvard review, and it said, happy people, very simple concept, happy people live longer, they are more healthier, they're more fulfilled in their life, and they make more money. Again, going back to if that's you. I think we should all make money to an extent. Making money feels good. But what keeps happy people happy? Optimism versus pessimism. How do you become optimistic? I was really giving thought to, again, talking about going all in and figuring out the version of yourself that makes sense to you. And the idea that you could really wake up every day and feel maximized emotionally. Not to say you don't struggle, not to say it's not difficult, not to say you won't argue with your wife and your kids and your boss, and you won't hate, quote unquote, some of the circumstances sometimes, because that's just life. But the reality is, if you're all in on you and you're chasing what you could really be, then it's like the ultimate video game version of yourself. If you could create your avatar, if you could create whatever it is you would be physically, now obviously you can't, there's some things you can't change. Like I'm bald, my hair ain't growing back, it ain't going nowhere. Yes, ambition is the key. Thank you for tapping in and saying that. Ambition is the key. So what are you ambitious for? What are you ambitious for? I think goals and aspirations are important. I think chasing your ambitions is important. I think all the cliche things people talk about, what's your vision? What do you see? How much money you want to make? What is it, how big is your mansion? What kind of car are you driving? It's all important and relative. But what I'm learning and what I really want to share, what I hope my message comes clear on, is that ultimately you're somewhere. Let's say for me, like I said, my hair's already gone. I'm in my 40s. I have a wife and a kid and I have a career today. Most of us are going to work. Most of us are going to have family. Most of us are going to have friends and community. Outside of chasing all of your dreams that look good on paper, the big house, the car, the money and all that, how do you feel about that? Is that what defines happy people? Again, the data said happier people live longer, are healthier, are more fulfilled, and thereby generally make more money. But I got to thinking, I think Jordan Peterson might have said it, but I was definitely having an epiphany in that the things you do every day don't brush off as mundane, because the things you do every day are life. The bed you wake up in, although it might change, the person you're waking up next to, the children you create or the family you create, the friends that you make, the things that you're ambitious about that make you feel good and happy about being you are for all the little things that you do daily. And I just feel like the idea that everything has to be externally sourced, that the happiness stems from us being fulfilled by material objects is all well and good to an extent, but it's not the whole picture. It can't be the whole picture. Going back to, the version of you that gets that, the version of you that reaches the pinnacle, however you define for yourself, as the one person who wrote in here that ambition is key. What are you ambitious about, and how does that person behave? How does that person talk? How does that person move? All of that stuff is awfully vital and important on your journey, and it ties back into your version of happy. And I thought about this a couple of years ago, that I could be going and flowing through life into a lot of what a lot of people talk about today, which is just kind of the sheep mentality, kind of, just the rat race of trying to maintain and sustain versus trying to actually expand and grow. And like, what's preventing that? What's stopping you? What your habits, your routines, the things that you're addicted to today, because you're addicted to something, whether you've come to grips with that or not. But But where's the epiphany of you that is revolves around happy, that says, this is the time I get up and I wake up with this type of intent and this type of intensity, and I focus on myself, I focus on my spirituality, I focus on my mental, I focus on my emotional game, I focus on ensuring that when I project myself out, if you're waking up next to a partner or significant other, when he or she wakes up, they feel my energy. I give off energy. I give off positivity. I give off my blessings to them. If I have those children, if I have community and family, when I walk into my job, how are you walking into these places? How are you carrying yourself? What are you emanating from an energy perspective? Yes, having the capacity to be ambitious. How do you build and expand the capacity to be ambitious? If you find yourself struggling today and you can't get outside of your own head, then you are limiting your capacity or to at least achieve the ambition you seek. How is that possible? Well, if everything starts with a thought and everything permeates off a thought, your feelings back to more thoughts. What are you thinking? What is your capacity around the thoughts of you being ambitious? We go to limiting thoughts. If there's a study to say happy people live this way, happy people feel fulfilled and quantified and qualified in this way, that has to mean because there's unhappy people. So what leads to unhappiness? It has to start within. It all starts with you. Otherwise, you're submitting control of who you could possibly be to, again, the external sources and what is out of your control. So going all in, like, what does going all in mean for you? What is your ambition physically? If we know that happier people are healthier, the thoughts are good, but are you moving in a way that makes you happy physically? Are you getting it in some way to exert some energy to get back energy, right? Building your character through physical endurance and strength and possibility in that way. Are you praying and meditating? Are you even considering praying and meditating? What does it mean to pray and meditate? Why would you pray and meditate? Are you reading? Are you journaling? All these things are driven towards the possibility of maximizing you as a person and going back to capacity and driving you towards ambition. So I came on inspired. I came on hyped. I came on really, really hopeful that we can discuss the possibility of happy, discuss the possibility of going all in, discuss the possibility of impacting whoever it is in your world that keeps you happy, and center it around happy people are generally optimistic, thereby are healthier, thereby live longer, thereby contribute more to society, thereby are paid more by society for their contributions, both monetarily. It shows in pay scale. People who are happy are putting in more work, getting more money. But the return on investment of working harder is not just your professional experience. It is in the things you do every single day. Like right now, I'm waiting for my son on the line at school. I take great pride in this. It's not like, oh man, I gotta wait. There's 47 cars in front of me. I just got cut off, and my wife and I, are not really seeing that. No. I'm blessed to be able to sit in a car, pick my son up from a school that is considered to be a really good school because I put in the effort that returns this level of investment. But I said it earlier, and I want to touch on it again before I tap out. The things you do every day, and a lot of the inspiration and motivation around this is, I don't have to do these things. I get to do these things. One of my favorite quotes: those who have swords and know how to use them shall inherit the world. Yes. How do you swing your sword? How do you swing your sword? How do you build your sword to be able to swing your sword and leverage it? Because at some point, man, I hate to think that, he talks about being dangerous, right? To my man, I don't want to say your name wrong, Dani Jukic. He talks about becoming dangerous, right? How do you become dangerous? You got to articulate yourself physically. You got to articulate yourself mentally, emotionally. You got to be maximized on all those levels so you can yield the best possible version of yourself that makes you dangerous. And if you got to swing that sword, you swing that sword. But back to the things you do every day. I think back to Danny's point here, if you're going to be ambitious for highly difficult goals, not that you can't, strength under control, yes. But you got to have the strength. You got to have the strength to control yourself, and then you got to have the strength to say, if I got to unleash, I'm going to unleash. That comes with confidence, right? You work on yourself. That's another thing too, man. I could probably go on for days. Is part of my epiphany was the fear that the things I do every day. So if I'm a father and I have two children, this was about 3, 4 years ago. So right now I'm 40. I'm gonna be. I think I'm gonna be 43. I was 39 at the time. My daughter's like, "Yo, can you carry me up the stairs?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting old. My back hurts a little bit. I can't really carry you up the stairs, baby girl." And I got to thinking, like, she's not that heavy. She's barely 100 pounds. I'm not even 40, and I'm worried about not being able to carry her up the stairs. So strength under control, emotional strength, physical strength. But those are the things you do every day. You wait on school lines for your kids. You do the dishes. You take out the garbage. You talk to your wife or your significant other about how their day was. You have a boss, or you're somebody's boss if you're blessed. I happen to be working in an environment where I have people who report to me. That's a big thing. So it's not like, yes, I love my profession. I get paid greatly for it. I'm in a really, really high place as far as my business space. But when I'm the best me, I can be the best for them. Thereby, I can help them grow, which helps me grow. But don't take the little things that occur. Don't just brush them off as little things. Everything you get to do in life is an absolute blessing. From waking up to having breath to being able to see and use your five senses. I tap here a lot, my consciousness, right? Consciousness apparently resides right behind your forehead and in between your eyes. Your brain and all the neurons that fire and chemically that make you who you are, that drive your emotions of happy and sad. Don't I guess the biggest thing I would like to say today is don't lose sight of what makes you you. The everyday tasks that are already required of you, the everyday things you already have in front of you, even if you want to grow them and even if you want them to become better. I want a better relationship with my wife. I want a better relationship with my children, with my profession. I want a better community. Like, I came from a really, really broken community. Like, my kids wouldn't know what to do if they went to school where I grew up. My kids wouldn't even know what to do if they went outside where I grew up at. And that I don't take that for granted naturally, or maybe not so naturally. But those things evolve. What you see and your environment that you seek will change over time if you give yourself enough time to invest in yourself. Like my man Danny said, you're having the capacity to be ambitious, knowing your ambition, and then grinding out towards your ambition. So going on 13 minutes here, I can't thank you all enough for your time. Consider what it means that happy people live longer, that happy people are more optimistic, they see things more positively. What can you, if you stood on for this talk, if you made it enough through this conversation, what can you take away that I'm on the East Coast, it's 3:30, wherever you are in the world, what can you take away from today that says, I'm gonna look at whatever I have left to do, whether you're taking out the garbage, whether you're picking up your kids from school, whether you're having dinner with your family. Yes, be good. All the best to you too, Danny. Can I do those things at a higher level? Can I be a higher, better me and contribute to what I do every day in the most positive, happy way so I can expand my happy? One moment at a time. Again, the things you do every day, don't take it for granted. You get to do them. But if you're unhappy, if you haven't really been where you want to be, if you're looking for the energy, the inspiration, the motivation, just do something better today for yourself that you haven't been doing, that you do every day. And sometimes that better thing you do for yourself that you don't do every day could involve your support system that's around you, right? They talk a lot about you're a product of the 5 closest people. Do you have somebody you could tap into to say, yo, I'm just looking to do this a little bit better. Let's have a more positive conversation. Let's have an ambitious conversation. Talk to your kids if you have kids. Share something with them. I think a lot of our generational curses, especially about, if you consider where I'm from, we'll get into that if you follow or if you check any of my videos, or we'll talk about it today, is, you could have a conversation with your child today that changes the entire trajectory of their life. And by changing their life, you could change their kids' lives. And this is long after you go. They talk about legacy. Maybe you've created something that's a little bit bigger for yourself, all because you decided to be happy today. So if you have more time in your day, think about something consciously where you say, I'm gonna be a little happier about something I do. I'm gonna be a little happy at the dinner table. I'm gonna talk to my family about being happy. I'm gonna talk to myself about being more happy. Like, why wouldn't you talk to yourself about being more happy? And it's crazy. I keep seeing people check in and it makes me want to talk longer. But but I can't stress it enough. Happy people live longer. Happy people feel more fulfilled. Happy people expand their worlds more. And that is all in your control. Nobody can tell you how to be happy. Nobody. Nobody can tell you if you are happy. So go do your thing. Stay blessed. Contribute to your life in a high way. Do something for yourself you said you would do and make it feel good. And then keep doing it. One little bit at a time. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Stay rich, family.